bit different. I actually found some RC cars, as you could probably guess by the title, on Facebook for a whopping $30, and it came in this bin over here. Let's actually take a look at this real quick. So this is a body for one of the cars. It actually, in the bin, was a body to the little car that you saw, and that body we're not sure because it doesn't fit on anything. But then it also came with a AC/DC auto charger by Panda, radio control. I'm not going to be using these because I've had bad luck with those older style chargers, and I use this X charger in combination with a Radiant Primal charger. Basically, that's what I use. So I use to charge this battery. But what came in it besides the charger? We got those two bodies like I mentioned, and then this body, which I'll keep flipped upside down. But we got some extra wheels here, tires and wheels, the owner's manuals for one of the cars, the spoilers in one of the cars is nitro, because here's an old school easy start, zip tied to a battery pack. And then a Tyco RC, a really old Tyco RC battery, 9.6 volt turbo premium NiCad battery pack. Not sure what that was used for exactly. But then we also got a spur gear for one of the vehicles. And since you already know one of the vehicles is brushless, or not brushless, nitro, here is a Super Duty long glow plug. Completely, actually I'm going to set this aside. Not used, so that looks good for me. And then you got your standard RC stuff. You got some spacers and stuff like this, some oil, some extra tires, and a very nosy cat. Alright, let's take a look at the cars now. So the first car I want to go into detail about is this one over here. This is the nitro one, as that falls. As you could probably tell too, this is a old nitro Traxxas rustler. And that body that was on it looks like this. This is what came in here. They cut some like air holes and stuff in it. It's pretty beat up, but it's pretty cool. It's the old nitro rustler. I had this started. The steering servo, or I didn't have it started. I don't have any nitro. This is my first nitro car. The steering works. It's the servo and everything works. The receiver works. This is the only car that actually came with the radio. Here's the old Traxxas radio. As you can see, it's got a 0.15 nitro engine, which has clearly been run on its side before. This particular one has an electric start. The switch for it is back here. As you could tell, that it starts the car and stuff, and then there's the little battery pack back here, which holds, all of the stuff. There's the motor for the electric start. I haven't taken this one apart yet, as you can obviously tell. But you've got your Traxxas radio control receiver. This was actually in a balloon, that old balloon trick to try to ghetto waterproof your vehicle. So I know this has already been in water, which is not a good sign. But your gas tank, all this stuff is extremely dirty. I just got home from work, so it was my first time seeing it. Now keep in mind, I spent $30 for all this. The entire bin was $30. But yeah, so there's the top of it. Nothing too exciting. I have some extra tires and stuff. If this vehicle works, the back tires are going to need to be adjusted because they're sitting with a little bit of camber, and I don't necessarily like that. However, the shocks are extremely good, really good. And then on the bottom, as you can see, it's got a full metal blue aluminum chassis, which is fantastic. So obviously this is going to be a summer car. None of it's waterproof. All the gears are exposed. I don't know if I mentioned this or not yet, but the servo here for the throttle linkages is having a really hard time. So probably going to need to replace that. But yeah, that's the first car. Now the second car, which completely caught me off guard, is right here. I'm pretty sure this is a Traxxas Slash, I want to say. I'm not 100% sure. The body it came with was the Ford F-150 body, but it doesn't fit correctly. Yeah, I'm guessing it's a 1/16 Slash. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. It might be like the Stampede or something, I'm not sure. But it's four-wheel drive. I have all the wheels taken off of it, because this is the one I started taking apart. And as you can probably notice, it has a lot of hop-up parts. A lot of them are really nice. Some of them, like these RPM linkages, not so nice. But if you look here, you can see from the front that it's got some Energy aluminum parts, which is fantastic. It's got the control arms, and then it's got a chassis which also is Energy all the way down. It's all Energy, which is fantastic. This is actually my first car, my only car, that's got full aluminum parts except for the linkages. And also, you can tell they bought the wrong, whoever had this before had the wrong size here. And to get them to fit, they loosened this screw so this would fit perfectly so they can actually get it to work. And it does, the steering does work, the servo struggles, so before I do any serious racing, that's going to need to be replaced. The radio that came in it is useless to me because it didn't come with the receiver, or the transmitter. And this is it. Right here. 3-channel, 27 megahertz, so that's how you know this thing's old. I'm using my Traxxas TQ top qualifier receiver from my, what is this from? I think it's from my Rustler. Yeah, it's from my Rustler. Because, you know, I upgraded to that fancy remote. I don't remember where I put it, but trust me, it's fancy. If I seem tired, it's like 11 o'clock at night or something. But anyways, so yeah, I actually had this one taken apart, and there is a problem with it other than the steering that'll prevent me from racing it, besides the fact that the only battery I have for it is this little wimpy 1200 milliamp battery, which is no good. So let's see, if we turn the car on here, I don't know if I disconnected, no, it's still disconnected, so I'll turn that on. You can see that turns up, turns red because the receivers or the transmitter's off. The receiver is on. Flip the switch here. Okay. Now, as you can see, the steering works fine. Struggles a little bit, but that might just be because I'm not used to. Oh no, you can see. Look up here. How that bends. It's because the screw is loose and these are the wrong size. But here's the real thing: the throttle. I'm not going to keep doing that because I don't think something's right. There's kind of a grinding noise, and these back wheels are barely spinning. Now, keep in mind, I don't have the tires on, or the wheels on, so there might be a difference there, and that hopefully is all it is. But I'm fairly certain that there's something rubbing, or, you know. Obviously, I got these for $30, so I'm going to completely tear them apart, clean them, and reassemble them. This is just kind of a, hey, you know, keep an eye on. You know, I actually got these off Facebook. My areas around where I live have garage sales that are posted on Facebook, and I saw these before I was going to work. But yeah, so I'm going to do some update videos. Obviously, this thing is going to be my pet project. This is pretty dope. I've always wanted a. So these two cars are things that I've wanted. I have stadium trucks and stuff like that, and they're all brushless electric. But what I don't have is a nitro, and it's a 0.15, so it's a relatively bigger engine. And this is a project car, so I can't just plug it in and run it, which is fine. You can also tell the camber's pretty bad here by the wear on the tires. But yeah, and then I also wanted a 1/16th or 1/18th. I'm actually not sure what size this is, but I wanted one of these because I could drive these things around in the house and torment the cats with them, or I could take them to the track where I take my slash and stuff and just go nuts. Yeah, that's basically it. I think I showed off the radio that it came with. That's the radio. It came with the battery and the receiver. This video is kind of just like documentation for me too, so I know, you know, what came with it, what isn't working. Oh yeah, here's my fancy receiver. Transmitter. Shit. Yeah, that was kind of loud. But that's it. So eventually I'm going to get a, because the receivers for this are really tiny, so eventually I would like to replace these crappy Traxxas ones with the Fly Sky one, so then I can have it saved onto here. And then I'm also going to get another one for my Rustler, the Nitro Rustler. And yeah. And I think it's funny, I got two completely random cars, and they both ended up to be Traxxas. So basically, all my cars are Traxxas. I have my normal Rustler, well, that's my Tamiya Unimog, that doesn't really count, and then my Slash, which is currently completely busted. I need one part for that. And there's my Unimog over there. But yeah, so like I said 100 times already, and I'm tired, but keep an eye out for what you've got around your area, because some people just don't know what they have, and you might end up with deals like these. So Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.